All right, looking ahead to something happening this Thursday that people are all talking about. That's when President Trump's new auto tariffs are set to take effect. The president says they are part of an effort to bring auto manufacturing back to the U.S., but some are concerned what it could mean for prices on cars and trucks and auto repairs. So News 19's Cassidy Byer sent out today to find some answers.
Oh yeah, the Audi.
Yes, the beautiful Audi out there.
Where it lost the compression. My granddad was in the business, so he had his own car dealership, you know, now dead, and then dad was in NASCAR, and then we just keep it going.
Nicole Runtree is the general manager at her family's multi-generational automotive shop in the Midlands, Phillips Auto Tech.
Engine jobs are very expensive, and it depends on if you get a used one put in it or if you do a brand new one when it comes to that.
Runtree says while their automotive shop sells cars, they're best known for servicing and fixing Highline vehicles, which means they purchase automotive parts from around the world. That soon may be impacted by the implementation of President Trump's 25% auto tariff.
Some stuff is local, some stuff is definitely here in the United States, out of different states and all that. It could be West Coast, the top of the East Coast. It just depends on what you need and where it's located at. But then, of course, you got all the stuff that comes from overseas, especially if it's VIN lock parts and modules.
Since hearing about Trump's plan to place a tariff on foreign automotive parts, Runtree says it will always depend on what is needed to be fixed or purchased as to whether the tariffs will impact local sales.
There is no, yes, this is going to happen and this is going to affect so much, or no, this isn't going to happen. It's a I don't know and you adapt. That's what this is about.
So the economics of tariffs is where we look at the costs and the benefits, recognizing that the costs are typically the rise in prices that consumers have to face, but we can see benefits if we see more manufacturing investments in the United States.
Dr. Joey Von Nessen, research economist at USC, says the biggest change isn't the increase in price we may see in the automotive industry, rather the change in U.S. and industrial policy that's shifting the world's current economic environment.
When looking at these tariffs that are likely to be implemented this week, they may not ultimately land where they start, because the Trump administration has been very clear that part of this is a negotiating tactic, and we've seen a lot of back and forth already. So whatever we see this week, I think it's likely it will change again before we land on the long-term tariff policy that's ultimately implemented.
Cassidy Byer, News 19, WLTX.
Now, we did ask Phillips what auto parts they expect to be having price hikes because of the implementation of the tariffs, but they said that their vendors also yet aren't sure what items are going to be impacted the most. It depends on where you're purchasing the parts from and how many parts are needed.